The movement was very fragile. The push for democracy in Russia at that point depended upon the bright light and leadership of people like Sakharov. And when we lost him, we lost one of the strongest voices and examples that we had in Russia.
Sakharov's words and his writings and his speeches from the 1960s and the 1970s ring so topical and so true today. This is what he wrote in his famous essay in 1968. Freedom of thought requires the defense of all thinking and honest people. It is the only guarantee against an infection of people by mass myths, which in the hands of treacherous hypocrites and demagogues can be transformed into bloody dictatorship. End of quote. This could have been written yesterday.
He was making big effort, almost as a scientist, to explain to journalists why human rights is not simply moral choice, but why it is pragmatic choice. Why you cannot rely on those regimes which don't trust to their own citizens.
Over the most hopeless and traumatic years, my family experienced compassion. The plight of my parents may have been exceptional, but the concern for them also helped bring to the fore the fate of other victims of injustice and discrimination. Andrei Sakharov believed that human rights ideology is the only ideology that can unite the world, as it transcends the divisions imposed by party, church, confession, gender, ethnicity, and race.
Sometimes in human rights circles, it's considered more appropriate to stand back, that politics is by definition dirty. If you work on human rights, you represent eternal and general truths and values. Whereas now, and I think for Sakharov as well, you bring those values into politics, and politics needs that.
Do not dismiss the possibility of better things. Remember that Sakharov was right. Values are universal. Human rights at home has an impact on a country's behavior abroad. The right choice, the moral choice, is ultimately apt to be a more pragmatic choice, and be not afraid.
Andrei Sakharov is not only the conscience of the Soviet Union. Andrei Sakharov is the conscience of humanity. He has inspired us all in his relentless struggle for universal human rights, which he rightly sees as our shared humanity, and we are all his beneficiaries.